Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about how radical ideas can be used to manipulate young people, and I'm going to do it in the context of the current European economic crisis. Now, we see that the economic crisis has caused lots of problems for young people and elderly people alike. But among the youth, we have problems like high unemployment. It's difficult to find education for people. It is difficult to have a career, and there is a general feeling that the life of the youth is getting worse. The life of young people is uncertain, and the young people, they feel uncertain over the future. Now we see that we have a problem. We have a situation where the younger generation perceives that the older generation has, borrowed money from their generation, meaning that the young generation will have to pay the debts of the older generation, and the older generation has made their lives better with the money of the young generation. So, and this is something that often creates resentment and angst among young people, and this can be used very easily to radicalize them and to manipulate them. Now, the thing is that young people are more easily manipulated than any other age group, except maybe very young children. Now, this is especially true when a young person is emotionally unstable or hurt. If a young person feels inadequate because he feels that he has not achieved what he should, what is expected of him, and we say that this is, I say that this is very often the case. The young person nowadays in our society is expected to get a job and to have a career, to make something of himself. Now, the economic crisis makes this very difficult, and we see that young educated people can no longer find jobs after college, and this actually contributes to their feeling of inadequacy and failure. Now, there's also a problem where this can cause significant anger and resentment towards the older generation or the politicians that have made financial decisions. They can be blamed for these kinds of failures. We see that we have a case where the older generation wields significantly more political power. Most politicians belong to the older generation, and also, of course, there are more people that are old than there are young. And we see that this means that young people will find it difficult to compete in the democratic process. So they might try to find alternative ways of influencing the state than through democracy. They feel ignored. Some of them feel betrayed by their governments. And this is a mentality that can be used very efficiently to manipulate them. Because young people also have an overwhelming desire to belong to a social group and actualize themselves. They have a desire to identify themselves with a group. And a radical group can offer just that. It is a group that you can identify with. This is the very main reason why people in their 20s are the prime target for recruitment for, let's say, cults, because they are more easily manipulated by these techniques. You see, a radical group offers other people that identify with you. However, it is not, a nice social circle. In addition to socializing with the young people, they also radicalize them. They spread their own radical ideas. They have a rhetoric of hate. They teach them to hate certain groups, certain minorities, whether it's immigrants, Jews, whatever. A certain group of people that they fight against. Now, this gives an opportunity for young people to, it gives them a medium to sort of vent their anger, to direct their anger at their own own inefficiency and on their own failures, and direct it towards somebody else. Whether it is, let's say, a minority group, or let's say a political party, this gives them a medium through which they can, for one thing, it is very convenient to blame things on other people, obviously, and this is essentially what radical groups often do. They blame they blame certain people's groups over the hardships in the society. And we see that this kind of thing has happened before. The economic crisis in the 1920s and the 1930s led to very many radical ideas becoming popular. It led to the rise of fascist powers, and this could be a very serious problem if this isn't negated. Now, the solution to this problem is that political parties must not ignore the needs of the youth. They must work in order to include youth in the democratic process. They must make sure that their needs are also dealt with, and that young people have a voice in democracy. Because otherwise they will seek other alternatives. If a radical group is willing to listen to them, then they will identify with this radical group, and this will only damage our society. Thank you for your attention.